Everybody knows. Nathan, did you want to say anything before?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that's doing all this work. And also, when you go to read, look for the heat of the lamp, please. I'm filming you, and I want to give everybody, you know, a DVD or CD, whatever stuff goes on. So look for the heat over here. And thank you very much. And just remember that the story is almost true.
So, do you want to go first?
Hi, I'm Martin Morrisma. I will be playing the Count.
I'm Ryan. I'm a man at a funeral. I'm Paul. I will be Jack London.
My name is Travis Morris. I'll be playing Truuble.
Mike, and I'll be playing Klondike Bill.
I'm Melody Gray, and I'll be playing Flora Dora.
I'm Trey. I'm the bartender.
Jim, I'll be reading The Young Deckhand.
I'm Simon. I'm reading Sam.
I'm Priscilla. I'm the narrator. Truuble Comes To Dawson. One act. Scene 1. Yukon River, 1898. 24 hours before the Yukon Belle reaches Dawson. It's late evening, yet the sun has barely given up the overhead sky. The stern wheeler is slowly working its way up north past the point where the Klondike River empties the mighty Yukon. At this very spot, the defined border of clear blue water from the Klondike and muddy rolling water from the Yukon blend and cause very large whirlpools. On the forward deck are 3 men standing alongside each other. Truuble, by his look, had had 50 easy years of life so far, and much wealth. He has the look of sadness. He stands to the left of the young deckhand, barely 16, but large for his age. He looks ahead for any danger as he holds up an axe, poised, ready to chop loose the rope lanterns of the substantial bow anchor if needed to not only stop, but to hold the craft safely in the current. On his right is the young prospector, Jack London. A heavy haze covers the river and land ahead, caused by the 2 different river temperatures. Truuble squints his eyes as if that would help him clear the way. He knows that just ahead is Dawson. Suddenly, the boat shakes and stops its forward motion. The sound of the loud boat's whistle follows. Then the captain shouts from the bridge.
Damn it. Shore's fogged. Whirlpools. Time to lock down. What say you, Mark Twain?
He talks his paperback of Tom Sawyer. Then he ties down the ship's wheel with the lanyard and puts down his paperback. He walks out of the starboard side of the wheelhouse. He hollers down to his son, the forward deckhand.
Let loose the anchor on the boy! I got him.
Without hesitation, and in one swoop, the young deckhand severs the rope. The anchor falls quickly down. Water splashes upward. Line pays out dangerously and suddenly becomes slack as the anchor settles on the river's bottom.
Make her fast on the center cleat! I got him.
The boat falls back with the current as the anchor rope squeezes on the cleat. The anchor digs in, handsomely into the muddy bottom, then all becomes silent. Only the rushing water against the prow breaks the silence.
Well, you might as well settle in for the night, folks. Whirlpools are far too dangerous. Melting of the glaciers should be down by tomorrow this time.
I have been traveling for weeks and used to delays.
Figures. I should have waited in Skagway for the melt to subside.
Young fella, my name's Theodore Truuble, not Trouble.
Jack's my name. Jack London.
The Jack London? The London in this newspaper.
Well, I'll be damned. They published my article.
And many others. I am a fan of your article. It is the reason why I'm taking this godforsaken trip.
Well, I never got a cent for anything I sent out. Guess I'll be visiting the newspaper editor when I go back to Vancouver.
Jack, just tell me, is this article about Florodora a truth or a false statement?
It's a truth, Mr. Truuble. It's a truth for sure.
Dawson, Florodora. Soon, my very final destination.
24 hours later, the captain is playing Mark Twain to the hilt, entertaining everyone who will pay attention.
The river is now calmer and lower, just as I said it would be. I have made the stern wheeler nudge against the Dawson shore, and you can now safely depart.
Well, nice to meet up with with the man who had made my life, what is left of it, bearable. Tell me, are you still gold prospecting, and are you going to continue writing?
I quit prospecting. Finally got a claim, and when I did, it never panned out. Lost my share and my tools. Almost died of sickness. Saved by the priest William Judge. He passed. Soon to be buried. The ground's thawing. Good for burials. Writing, I have been doing somewhat. I had a dog, White Fang. He's mixed with the mushers now. Not a sled dog, too large. Great bear dog, adventure we had. The two of us did.
If you need in the hall up the bank, there's two ways. This donkey or this mush dog. Dog's fast for those that can run in mud. Donkey's slow for them that can't.
Scene 2. Second scene opens in present-day Dawson City, Yukon, Canada. Stage left. Simulated bar. Bar is vertical downstage. Bartender moves around, but mostly faces stage left. Sam sits at the upstage of the facing bar, facing downstage. Klondike Bill sits facing stage right, around 2 feet downstage from Sam. Upstage and center, blown up image of Florodora Hotel, stage right, hotel reception desk and chair. Appears to suggest as close to 1898 as possible. Overhead light or spotlights placed on actors when they speak. All other stage areas are not illuminated, except as directed. Bartender behind the bar. Sam, seated at the end of the bar. Klondike Bill at the bar. Overhead light or spotlight on bartender and Sam only.
Here you go. Scotch, straight up. You don't want me saying so, mister. You look shaken up about something. You could say that. Give me another. I just had an unusual experience. I know it shouldn't be real, but I swear it happened. I just don't know what to make of it. Well, you want to talk about it? Listen, in here, I've heard everything, buddy. I doubt you'll surprise or shock me. Might help to talk, or not. Your choice. I'm here till my shift's over. But my friend, if you have a story to tell at the bar, the rule is you have to sign a pledge to leave us your toes or toe if frostbitten.
Behind the bartender on the wall is a sign. Wanted, frostbitten toes for our sourdough cocktail.
Last frostbitten toe got swallowed, but we got another one from a prospector. Had gold fever, stayed too long into the winter.
Sounds disgusting, but where do I sign?
Right here on the dotted line. Good! Now, on your story.
You're not going to believe me.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. As I said, your choice to talk or not.
Bartender refills shot glass. Sam turns the glass in his hands, but doesn't drink.
I did something. A man named Klondike Bill told me some stories about the gold rush days. Then he told me to go to the Florodora Hotel at midnight because if I did, I'd have an interesting experience. But it was interesting. It was interesting, all right. So I left there and I came right here to get my mind straight. Oh my God. Okay, here goes. Here's what he told me and what happened tonight. I'm listening.
The lighting switches from bartender and Sam to Sam and Klondike Bill. Bartender puts shot glass in front of Bill, then steps out of the light. He moves around silently in the shadows doing bartender things.
You're Klondike Bill. Sam, I saw your performance tonight. You were good. I was in show business back in New York City, retired now, so I know good when I see it.
Thanks, Sam. That's nice of you. So, you're from the big city. It's a long ways from here. Business or pleasure brought you here tonight?
Pleasure, curiosity, boredom. It's my first time here. I'm checking out the usual things tourists check out, and a few they don't. I have to say, this place, Dawson, has something about it. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe I'm just tired. I visited a lot of places before coming here, but since I got here, I feel like I'm here and not here. I don't know how to explain it. And I know how that sounds, like I slipped a cog or something.
No. I happen to know what you mean. Not everyone can sense it.
Not everyone, you say, can sense it.
You're one of those who can. As Shakespeare said, there are more things in heaven and earth than there are dreamt of in your philosophy. Smart man. You see, what we believe doesn't always allow us to see what's really going on. Beliefs are like a veil over what's really here, what's really all around us. We see only so much. Our perception of the rest is limited. But there are times, Sam, when that veil is lifted just for an instant and we see more. If you ask me, that's what's happening. As you're a curious fella, I know just the thing for you. Just reminder, what happens may stay with you longer than the actual event.
What the hell are you talking about? I'm sorry, but it sounds like you're telling me I'm having some otherworldly type experience. I don't believe in that crap.
Well, you're not having one yet. Maybe you're about to. Yeah, and I'll tell you what I think you're sensing, the effects of what's true and constant. Yes, sir, Sam, true and constant. The year was 1898, July, just as it is now. When the sun sets at midnight here, Theodore Truuble was a bored and lonely banker who worked too hard to become a respected gentleman. One day he read a newspaper article by Jack London, an adventurer who'd come to Dawson during the gold rush days. London wrote of a lot of things about his time here, including about a woman of independent means by the name of Floradora. Included a sketch of her as well. That's why Truuble found himself traveling on a sternwheeler on the Yukon River and making his way here to Dawson. It was only called Dawson then. The city part came about 1900 and something.
Lighting goes off Bill and Sam and onto center stage. It is now 1898. Truuble enters from stage right, wears hat, carries folded newspaper and satchel, and walks to center stage, stops, faces downstage, and looks around. Funeral man picks up the grave marker and walks to center stage, with the grave marker carries on his right shoulder. He's part of a funeral procession, so walks fairly slowly, and in front of Truuble, he removes his hat and stands respectfully.
Pardon me, sir. This is a large procession of mourners. Whose funeral is this? And why, if the funeral is today, is the date of death on that marker 6 months ago?
We're burying the saint of Dawson, William Judge, a priest, a good man who saved many a life, including, I might say, that Jack Dawson you're reading about in your newspaper. Judge saved that fella and lots of others from scurvy, built us a hospital, and the reason he's being buried now is we had to wait for the ground to thaw enough to dig into it. Bet it was that London fella got you here.
London did, yes. And something else.
If you're looking for gold, fella, like everyone else who comes here, not many land claims left. You've got to probably have to work for a landowner and take a smaller share.
Gold interests me, of course, but that's not why I came here. I'm here for a different kind of treasure. I know you need to catch up with the other mourners, but I wonder if you could tell me where I might get a bath.
If you want a first bath, not a second or third bath, you can get one at Floradora's place for a price.
Light illuminates a photo of Floradora Hotel. Truuble looks at the hotel image, then turns back to the man.
First bath?
First one gets into the water pays the highest price of the bath. The price goes down for the second bather, and so on until there's no more customers. And if you need the comfort of a woman tonight, you can get that there too. I have to move on now. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Light on hotel image goes off. Light goes on for receptionist. It is now 1898. Floradora entered stage right and goes to desk. Truuble takes off his hat and walks up to the hotel desk. Floradora looks up as Truuble approaches her. Truuble puts on his hat and newspaper on the desk and his bag on the floor in front of the desk.
Welcome to the Floradora, sir. We're not used to getting real gentlemen in Dawson. Never seen you before. But obviously you've seen my picture in the newspaper. How can I help you?
I heard I could get a first bath here, and a fine woman for my needs tonight.
You can indeed get a bed, bath, and a woman, sir, after your bath. Just sign my register and I'll get you fixed up. What's your business here in Dawson?
You're my business, Miss Flora. My name's Theodore Truuble. It's neither spelled the usual way, nor am I trouble. It was indeed this article that brought me here. Also, something else Mr. London wrote, if I may quote him. I should be stifled, I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather my spark burn out in a brilliant blaze than should be stifled by dry rot. I would rather be a superb meteor than every atom of me in magnificent glow than a sleepy and permanent planet. The proper function of a man is to live, not exist. I shall not use my days in trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. From the moment I read the article and those other words, and I saw your image, I knew my days as a banker in Vancouver were over. I know how this will sound, and I can't explain any better than I am, but when I read about you and saw your image, I admired your spirit as an independent woman who chose her life and created it. By God, Miss Flora, I decided to look upon your sweet face and become a part of your life. I respect that you need time to get to know me and maybe even feel about me as I feel about you. Maybe grow to love me, even. But I'm asking you to be my wife when you're ready.
Mr. Truuble, a lot has been said to me and about me in my lifetime, but no man has ever said such fine things. No man ever traveled so far and with such hardship to be with me. If I were an overly cautious woman and a less shrewd one, I'd hesitate. I like what Mr. London said. It's my own motto, and though I never could have put it into words. Some people will think I'm foolish. Some will understand. Neither opinion matters. You're willing to take a chance on me, fair is fair. I believe you'll treat me well, And that's all I need to know about to accept your proposal now. Life is too short and too often harsh not to. Life in Dawson and in the cold, hard ground of our cemetery proves that.
Florodora walks around the desk to where Truuble stands. Truuble takes Floradora's hand in his. Lighting goes off them. They remain on stage where they stand. Lighting goes on to Bartender and Sam at the bar. It is now present day.
So, I went to the museum that was once Floradora's hotel, tonight, at midnight, like Klondike Bill told me to. The street was empty and silent. I sat on the wooden sidewalk out front and waited as the sun set. Nighttime took over, a clear, cloudless indigo night. And then I heard wagon wheels, horses and mules. I heard voices and activity all around me. The boards beneath me vibrated with footsteps. There was nothing and no one there. I jumped up and ran across the street, turned, and looked back at the hotel. The wind kicked up. The air, it turned hazy, then it cleared. And that's when I saw.
Light comes up on Truuble and Florodora and stays on Sam and Bartender.
So what?
As Sam says what he saw, Truuble and Flora pantomime the actions in his speech.
They were there. It had to be them. In the upstairs window on the right. Florodora waved at me. Truuble tipped his hat. Then he took her in his arms, and they waltzed away from the window.
Truuble and Florodora waltz and exit stage right. Sam shakes his head and continues speaking.
I'd like to say I dreamed it, but I was wide awake and sober. You see what I mean? It sounds crazy. I sound crazy.
No, sir. It's common knowledge around here, though, as Klondike Bill said, not everyone can see it. There's only one thing I can say, and you can take it or leave it, up to you. For one brief moment, you allowed the veil to lift. Theodore Truuble and Florodora are more than legends here, mister. They're real to us. And they're still here, laughing, loving, and living.
So, you're saying I really did see and hear all of it?
Think about it. You know you experienced a mystery of sorts. You became aware you're part of something greater than you ever imagined. What you do with that is up to you.
I don't know what the hell to do with it.
What do you feel here?
What do I feel? I'm not good with feelings. Longing, like I've never felt. And oddly enough, hopeful, like I've never felt.
It seems to me if you've had such an experience, you need to figure out what to do with it.
Truth is, I've been feeling like Truuble did before his trip to meet Florodora. Maybe those two wanted to show me what I need to do more of. Live, laugh, love. God knows I haven't done nearly enough of any of them. I suppose the question is, am I as ready and willing to do that as Truuble was?
Well, do what you will with, what will your life be like if you don't change a thing? What might it be like if you do?
Bartender, let me have a glass of your sourdough cocktail.
The bartender pours the sourdough cocktail into a tall glass. He then takes out a blackened toe from a small ice chest with his tongs, places the toe into Sam's drink. Both watch as he settles to the bottom of the cocktail. Sam lifts the glass and toasts to the unseen. Blackout. The end.
Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause for everyone. Put the show on here, so I want to thank him. And yeah, I mean, I can't wait to talk to the writers because it's such an amazing experience when you hear actors read it and bring it to life and people laugh and you thought they might laugh and hear a different response than you expected at all. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for coming. Writers, thank you, of course.
Thank you. Thanks,
Good evening, everyone.
Encore.
My name is Ruben Cruz. And I want to thank you for coming here. I want to apologize for not being here for the meeting, even though I invited you. I have an issue because in theater, we have sometimes a lot more drama on the outside than on the inside, don't we? In any case, I want you to think of this as a place that might be a home for you to come to every once in a while. If you want to do a reading, I have a room upstairs. I love doing readings around a table. I mean, it's just the best thing for me. I have a conference room upstairs. I have this theater down here, a larger theater upstairs.